The day my boss called me useless, everyone in the meeting room laughed. He looked at me and said, "Honestly, a teenager could do your job better." I stayed quiet, not because he was right, but because he had no idea who I really was. And 1 week later, I bought his company. My name is Emma. A week ago, I was just another employee working in a corporate office in New York. I wasn't loud. I wasn't popular in the office. Most people barely noticed me, but I worked harder than anyone there. My boss, Mark, was the type of manager who believed yelling made him powerful. He loved embarrassing people during meetings, and unfortunately, that day I was his target. It was Monday morning. The entire team was sitting in the conference room while Mark reviewed our performance. When it was my turn, he smirked. "Emma," he said loudly, "what exactly do you even do here?" Some coworkers looked down. Others tried not to laugh. I calmly replied, "I manage the client data and system reports." Mark laughed. "Manage? Please, my 10-year-old nephew could probably do your job." This time, people actually laughed. My face felt hot, but I didn't react. Then he said the sentence that changed everything. "Completely useless." The meeting ended shortly after that. Everyone left the room pretending nothing happened. But I sat there for a moment, thinking, not angry, just disappointed. Because Mark thought I was just an employee. He had no idea what I had been working on for the last 3 years. You see, before working at that company, my father owned a small investment firm. When he passed away, I inherited part of the company. But instead of jumping straight into leadership, I wanted to learn how real companies actually worked. So I joined Mark's company as a regular employee. No special treatment, no connections, just experience. And during those 3 years, I quietly studied everything. The company's weaknesses, their financial problems, their struggling investors. And most importantly, I knew the company was slowly going bankrupt. By Wednesday, I had already made a decision. That afternoon, I visited our family firm. Our financial advisor looked surprised when I walked in. "Emma," he said, "what brings you here?" I placed a folder on the desk. Inside it were financial reports from Mark's company. "They're struggling," I said calmly, "and their investors want to sell." He flipped through the pages, impressed. "Where did you get all this information?" I smiled slightly. "I work there." After reviewing everything, he leaned back in his chair. "You know what this means, right?" I nodded. "We can buy them." For the next 2 days, our team negotiated with the investors. Most of them were already frustrated with the company's leadership. Deal was done. Our firm officially owned the company, and Mark had absolutely no idea. That same afternoon, an emergency company meeting was announced. Everyone gathered in the conference hall. Mark walked in confidently, like he always did. But this time, there were also a few unfamiliar faces. Our legal team, and me. People looked confused when I walked to the front. Mark frowned. "Emma, why are you standing there?" One of the lawyers stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have an important announcement." The room went silent. As of this morning, this company has been acquired by a new ownership group. Whispers filled the room. Mark looked shocked. "That's impossible. No one told me about this." The lawyer continued. "The new majority owner is Miss Emma Carter." For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then every single person in that room slowly turned to look at me. Mark's face turned pale. "This is a joke," he said. I calmly stepped forward. No, Mark, it's not. His voice shook. You're just an employee. I looked at him the same way he looked at me on Monday. Not anymore. The room was completely silent. Then I added one final sentence. Remember when you said I was useless? Mark didn't respond. So I figured, I continued, if I'm useless, I might as well own the company. A few people in the room quietly laughed. Mark didn't. The lawyer handed him a document. Your position will be reviewed by the new owner. He stared at the paper. And for the first time since I met him, Mark had nothing to say. A week ago, I was just another employee he liked to humiliate. Today, I was his boss. And suddenly, I didn't seem so useless anymore.